Well, let's get more on this now with political analyst Nour Odeh, who was also Palestine's first female government spokesperson. She joins us now from Ramallah. Really good to have you with us, Nour. Firstly, we heard there Blinken really call for calm in the wake of the spate of recent deadly violence we've seen both against Israelis and Palestinians. But are words of calm simply going to be enough to de-escalate tensions?
I don't think so, especially when they come the way they did, in a way that highlights Israeli casualties and disregards the fact that over 36 Palestinians, including an elderly woman and several children, were killed by Israeli occupation forces, dehumanizing and erasing the Palestinian suffering under occupation will not calm tempers and will not assure ordinary Palestinians that this Biden administration sees them or understands their pain and understands the fact that the source of this pain is the ongoing Israeli occupation. Blinken talked about the goal of two states, the fact that, this is something that we can work towards in an indefinite kind of framework. And that's not something any Palestinian wants to hear. I think what we saw was a reassurance from the Biden administration that they will still stand by Israel, that they will still work on rewarding it to further normalize its presence in the region despite being a brutal occupier. And that is, quite frankly, quite worrying. It's not what should have been said, certainly not if the aim is calm and a political horizon.
Well, that's right, because Blinken did point out the Israelis who were killed in that synagogue attack, but he didn't make mention of the Thursday raid that we saw last week by Israeli forces on the Jenin refugee camp, which, as we know, was the deadliest we've seen in years. Perhaps he'll raise it when he meets with the Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas. But there was a lot of hope that the Biden administration might reverse some of Donald Trump's more hardline policies, including the declaration of Jerusalem as Israel's capital. But it seems, at least for now, that Biden is doubling down on those policies. In fact, he says he's going to go ahead with the building of a new embassy in Jerusalem. So it does seem that perhaps the Biden administration isn't going to be that honest broker that the Palestinians were hoping for.
I'm not sure what Palestinians were hoping, that the U.S. would be an honest broker. It is a broker, or the broker, if you will. Nobody else wants that job. Nobody else dares to ask for that job. But everybody understands that the U.S. administration, whatever it is, Republican or Democrat, it has a very strategic alliance with Israel. And I would hope that it's not based on common values, because Israel is a prolific a violator of international law, and the U.S. insists that it is a beacon of democracy. But having said that, there are serious strategic interests that the U.S. and Israel share, and that's why you see the marketing of Israel in the region, the pushing of the so-called Abraham Accords, the advertising of normalization as if it is something that will bring prosperity to the region, while completely deflecting from the reality on the ground and the Palestinian issue. The Biden administration is going ahead with the building of that illegal embassy on privately owned Palestinian land by a Palestinian American, by the way. So you have that complete disregard even to the rights of a Palestinian American at play. And again, I don't think there was a lot of realistic expectation that the Biden administration would make a full U-turn. But the fact that it is just putting this issue on the back burner, that it wants just to manage it rather than resolve it, that it doesn't want to apply any kind of pressure or accountability on Israel, that it wants, that it exercises its political weight on other countries to sway them from holding Israel accountable at international forums, is very troubling, because it indicates that not only is there no political horizon, but that the situation on the ground, which is already extremely deadly and very volatile, will only get worse if the Americans continue on this path.
And what do you make of Blinken's comments about the two-state solution, the fact that American policy is that a two-state solution is vital to maintain peace or restore peace between Israelis and Palestinians. We know that's been the bedrock of US foreign policy for the past 70 years, although it was downplayed under Donald Trump. Do you think that was just words on Blinken's part, or are you hoping to see more firmer and decisive action from Washington to achieve that outcome?
Well, let me put it to you this way. When my son asks me for something that is not in the offing, not in the budget, I say, well, that is exactly the goal. That's what we're going to get, Mom. We're going to get you that big toy car or that big whatever. And that's basically what the Biden administration is doing with the two-state solution. It keeps talking about it being a goal, but doing absolutely nothing to advance that goal, while Israel is doing everything to make it, impossible to achieve. So, unless they walk the walk, really talking only makes matters worse, because it only really angers those listening and hoping for a solution. Right now, it doesn't seem that the Americans are interested in anything practical.
Okay, Nour Odeh, we will have to leave it there, but thank you so much for sharing your analysis with us on TRT World.